Hello and welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year. I'm your host, Michael Kurland. Joining me, as always, is my partner in crime, Dougie Fresh. Douglas, how are you doing today?
What's up, Mike? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
we're not doing enough of these lately, man. We got to get back on track here. So
yeah,
good to be back here today.
It is good to be back here today. Well,
although we don't have too many good things to talk about today, do we?
man, it is not good to be back here today. This is gonna be a complete wham fest, a bitch fest. I am over sports right now, Doug. I'm over sports. But before we get to how over sports I am, I want to know, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm actually in better shape than you'd think, considering I lost to you in our home league in fantasy by 3 yards. 3 yards, 0.3 points. So
yep.
I'm actually kind of proud of how I'm dealing with this. In the past, that would have ruined my week. I would have thought nothing.
I wasn't even gonna bring it up. It wasn't even. It's so down the list of fucking things that we got to get to today.
I know. I just wanted to start with that. Like, Jerry Jeudy could have just maybe caught that last pass there. By the way, maybe the dumbest 2-minute drill I can remember in my lifetime. Good job, Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, I think Nathaniel Hackett has taken a page out of his father's book of being not great at calling offensive plays.
So. I figure I will use it as an excuse to drown my sorrows in a nice, really strong Imperial Stout, 9.0, and it's Urt. And I actually know what that means because I've been getting into astronomy lately.
So what does Urt mean?
Great way to turn off your mind, especially after it makes you realize how none of this matters when you start reading about that stuff. But the Oort cloud is a bunch of giant ice cubes and rocks that actually is on the outer limits of our solar system. And scientists believe that's where comets come from. Like the Halley's Comet was created in the Oort cloud. So I guess these guys from Portland at Ecliptic Brewing are into the astronomy thing too. So we're going to give this thing a shot. 9.0. So cheers, buddy.
Cheers, my friend.
And we're going to use the fancy glass, by the way. Since
I like it. I like that. It's it's a stout. It has its own kind of glass, right?
Got to breathe. This is a dogfish glass, but it'll work.
It'll work.
Yep.
So, Dougie, let's talk a little fantasy right now. I mean, I absolutely murdered you by 0.3 points.
You bastard. What was it, like 114.8 to 114.5 or something? Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. And
yes, you and your 2-man team, by the way.
Dude, I didn't have the best opening day with Mike Davis as my starting running back. Got me, I think, 1 point.
Oh yeah.
And
he can get in the club with Allen Robinson and Kadarius Toney on my squad.
Dude, I wanted nothing to do with either of those guys. But yeah, receivers not doing the greatest, and Kamara got injured and only played half the snaps. So yeah. All good though, Dougie. All good.
Yeah, you'll take it.
I will definitely take it. I didn't expect to be good this year, drafting from the 12th spot after winning my 4th championship, obviously. And that
actually snapped a 5-game losing streak you had to me somehow during all those championship runs. So,
well, cheers to that.
You know what? The more I talk about it, the more angrier I'm getting. So
okay,
maybe that's a good segue for later. But yeah, man, fantasy's back. We didn't get to do our draft episode, but we're going to try to work in a lot of fantasy going forward.
Yeah, clearly with my Mike Davis draft pick, I was outthinking everybody, including myself.
Well, how about Brian Robinson in the 4th for me?
Ooh, but you didn't. You couldn't have predicted that.
It was literally within 12 hours from the draft that he.
I think it happened after the draft while we were out drinking afterwards. Yeah. Uh-huh. Which is awful.
Some in the karma.
But let's talk about some good news before we start crushing the fucking pain that is New York sports right now.
Hey, man,
the Giants. Come on, lead it off.
Oh,
let's hear it. What do you think?
What's not to love? I have a million disclaimers about what I'm going to say, but who cares? Giants won an opening game, and Brian Dabble is the anti-judge.
Yep.
He fucking went for it.
Yep.
There's no other way to say it. Joe Judge would have punted or something like I'm kidding, but I'm not. I'm not too far off. And it's just so great to see. I mean, I don't think the personnel is there for this year. I still don't think Danny Jones is the answer, but it was just a lot of fun to see. I think this fan base needed that. And what a way to start as a coach, man. Just to make that ballsy call on day one and tell your guys before that final drive that, hey, when we punch this in, we're going for 2. And they were all like, hell yeah, let's do this thing. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I think they were still outgunned in that game. Two things. Tennessee looked horrible. And they also, Mike Vrabel had a terrible day, I thought. Some of those play calls were terrible. I didn't understand why they didn't use Henry on that short yardage late. The 2-minute drill at the end with the missed field goal, he had more time to move the ball up. I mean, let's be real. The Giants got a little lucky. The first half looked like last year's team. It was like, oh, here we go again. It was only 13-0 somehow, but they looked awful. They could not block for Daniel Jones. But thankfully they can run. I think this team is going to be able to run with the young line. I don't think it's going to be a prolific pass offense, but it's been fun, especially considering they're missing their top 2 pass rushers, right? Ojulari and Thibodeau. They were still able to not only contain Henry, but man, they popped him a couple of times. A shout out to Tay Crowder.
Yeah,
love it.
I think you've nailed all the highlights. I think the one thing you're missing is Saquon looks like he's back.
Yep.
Yeah, he looks like he's back, and that's what everyone was saying. And his whole quote of stay on your side if you've doubted me for the last however many years. And I think
good for him.
Yeah, I think this was to be expected. He definitely was. Hey, what's up, Gino? How you doing?
Gino.
So he definitely was, coming off 2 injuries back-to-back years, and he finally got some time to be healthy. You got a line in place, which is awesome. And now you got a chance to let him do what he can do. And he ran for 150 yards. What do you have? 1 touchdown and the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, it was 194 total,
which is awesome.
Yeah, he had that. It was like 68 yard breakaway. Showed some separation that wasn't there last year.
And I think that's where your offense is going to run through for this year. So there's nothing wrong with that. And you had a couple of good days from this Jones kid. I don't know who he is other than that he caught like 5 of his 6 targets and had about
Richie
65. James.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Well,
so I don't know who he is or what his deal is, but
you remember from him on the Niners. He's kind of a journeyman. David Sills and Richie James, and of course Wandale before he got hurt, were all getting a ton more snaps than Kadarius Toney, who only I think got like 7 total snaps. Which, I mean, I think you can tell he's like maybe the second most talented guy on the offense, but he obviously either doesn't know the playbook or he's hurt. Who knows, right?
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, and he's going to be on my fantasy bench for a while now. That's fine. I hope he figures it out though. The team needs him.
Yeah.
That said, good job on Shep. Sterling Shepard got it's kind of broken coverage, but 65-yard touchdown. That's got to feel good for a guy coming off of Achilles, I believe, injury, which is not easy to do. So
yeah, I mean, he tore his Achilles week 14 last year, and he came back that quickly. That's pretty awesome. And he's not young, right? He's in his 30s, right?
Dude, he played with he was on that McAdoo team in 16. Like he played a bunch of years with Eli.
Yeah.
Maybe one of our most tenured guys at this point. And
definitely. And he was on my fantasy bench with his 65-yard touchdown. It was kind of a fluke play. Yes. But the thing that I want to also talk about, which, we're not Tennessee Titans fantasy football, any of this stuff, but to your point, the Titans just trash. They just look bad.
Oh, they look terrible.
Their defense, not great. And is this the year Henry falls off a cliff? I mean, that's partially why I traded him in fantasy before the season started, because I didn't think he was. I don't think he's going to be doing what he did last year.
Not with that receiving core. I mean, when AJ Brown was there, AJ, he's such a threat that it probably opened up Henry's game a little more.
Right.
And I don't think Burks is ready yet. Phillips looks okay. Robert Woods is apparently there. I barely noticed him. Team's got issues. So,
and Ryan Tannehill's still your quarterback, which,
dude,
isn't the greatest thing ever. And they still have Fat Randy as their kicker. So
Fat Randy, wide left, and
wide left.
That Tennessee team could have gone to a Super Bowl last couple of years, and they shit the bed. Obviously, I think they were this 1 seed overall, either last year or 2 years ago. So, yeah, that team's going down. So look, a win is a win, though. We haven't done that since 2016 opening win. I hope they don't like go 7-10 and then not miss out on maybe a good draft pick. But so either go 10-7, guys, or like shit the bed. I don't care. But either way, Brian Daboll, if you're a Giants fan, you got to feel great today or this week.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an awesome news. Awesome way to start the year. Great for you and your Giants fans. And I don't even have any hate to spew, because you guys are supposed to be bottom 5 in the league, and to get a win on opening day, granted it was on the road, not in front of the home fans, but whatever. It's got to feel good. It
does, and they get to play the Cowboys in a few weeks without Dak. I mean, who knows? Was it like the Panthers next week or something? Like, why don't you rip off a few? See what happens. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, Panthers are nothing that you can't. I mean, based on what we saw, you could definitely beat the Panthers. But here's the other thing: is you finally have a coach that, like you said, they came out in the first half, they were looked like the team from last year.
Oh yeah,
and you made adjustments at halftime to become a better second half team, and that's what good coaches do. And they showed, on ESPN or whatever, you saw your highlights of Daboll pulling Danny Jones aside after he threw that interception in the red zone. So,
that was a bad pick.
It was a bad pick, but the coach went over and talked to him directly, and that's what you want to see, right? Yep. So you got some. It looks like you got a good GM and coach in place, and it's only one game, but all things looking up for the Giants.
Yeah, dude. If the players are bought in, this whole season's a win. I don't think the players ever bought in under Judge, despite all the hot air about all that shit. So yeah.
I mean, how can you buy in under the special teams coach? Anything that's ever come out of New England has been garbage, because Belichick won't ever teach them the secret sauce to get to the next level, right?
And speaking of, they looked like butt in Miami.
Oh, they're
the Patricia Judge offensive show.
Yeah, he's finally like outthought himself, and
I think so.
Considered himself such a genius that he doesn't need people to be in their right spots. And I think he's trying to help his people out, but I also think that his squad is just trash. Mac Jones, I think he's going to be Kirk Cousins at best, right? And that's not a terrible place to be, but it's not. Kirk Cousins hasn't done anything in this league in the playoffs. Damian Harris is whatever. Stevenson is whatever.
They're kind of the same player a little bit, and it's just like. And then there's a bunch of lacrosse guys probably playing wide receiver. Belichick maybe is bored and is just trying to win with scrubs, and fine. I'm sure as a Jets fan, you don't mind that.
I don't. It's finally fun to see them, not be good. And I think that's the only team that we're going to have a shot at being better than in the division this year, unfortunately. Yeah. But maybe not even. So.
Well, man, maybe that's a good segue. I caught a little bit of it. Got to be honest, Lamar's on your team. I didn't feel like spending the whole day watching Lamar, light me up. But
I mean, for the most part, he didn't. He
didn't actually. Yeah, you guys kind of contained him.
Yeah, he played quarterback, and he threw
a couple of big pass plays. But
yeah.
That's how you make him beat you, not as opposed to with his feet. So
yeah,
or I guess maybe that's a naive
no.
take,
that was a game plan. The defense played well. We shut in the first half. We shut the run game down. Yep. We held them to the least amount of rush yards they've had in a game in like 5 years.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah. Granted, they didn't have J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards. They were running with, Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis and Justice Hill. So that wasn't hard, but Lamar had under 20 yards rushing for the whole game.
Right.
So
that's a win.
That was a win. And we, exactly what you said. We were said, if we're going to lose, he's going to beat us with his arm. And he did. He hit Bateman on a nice deep pass. Yeah. He had he had a blown coverage to Duvernay, and then he had another blown coverage. But the nice part about here's a silver lining: our cornerbacks, two new cornerbacks, played out of this world. 8 targets, 1 completion between the both of them.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's sick. Defensive,
remind me who we're talking about other than Sauce.
DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner.
DJ Reed, right?
Yeah, and then they had Bryce Hall, who was our starter last year. He's the one that got beat by Duvernay. I don't know if he was in on Nickelback or if he was just giving one of them a breather. So
Duvernay is what, their third or fourth option. So
he's their second receiver, but he's their third option in the receiving game. Maybe even the fourth if you're not counting the running backs.
Likely, maybe.
Yeah, Likely only got 4 targets. Duvernay had 4 as well, so something like that.
Yeah.
But he beat us on 2 of them, right? And then he beat a safety over the middle. Was just good play call. And Bateman, I don't know who Bateman beat on that. I think it was LaMarcus Joyner and
I don't remember either.
Deep pass. But the good thing is our cornerbacks look good, our safeties look not great, and our linebackers look not great. But our D-line looked good. We were able to stop the run, which we haven't been able to do in years. So, that's, I guess, the silver lining. Everything else was awful. Our special teams got awful. Zerline missed a makeable field goal and a point after. Point after was a moot point, but, the game was over at that point. But the field goal, we were still in that game until halftime. So it's just this turnstile of kickers that can't make kicks for the Jets since Myers left and went to Seattle a couple of years ago. And our offense, granted, we had Flacco in there, and Joe Flacco is a statue, but our offensive line, which was supposed to be so improved, and granted, Becton went out for the year. Dwayne Brown, who we signed to replace him, was put on IR, 2 days before the game. He's out for the first 4 weeks. And we don't have our starting quarterback, right? So, it's really hard to judge. But George Fant, who bounced between left and right tackle 3 times. He started at left, went to right, and went back to left when Brown went out. And he was garbage. He gave up 4 pressures. Tomlinson, our big free agent signing, left guard, gave up 8 pressures. Guy didn't give up more than 4 pressures in a game all year last year. He gave up 8. And then our right tackle was Max Mitchell, rookie 4th rounder. I think he played the best game out of all of them. Vera Tucker, the first rounder from 2 years ago, he gave up 4 pressures. We were just, Flacco had no time to throw. These guys had no time to get open.
Yeah.
But the run game looked all right. It was okay. It's just, I can't really judge anything until.
I thought Carter was pretty noticeable.
Carter looked good in the beginning, but by the time it was 17-0, you got to start throwing the ball, and there's no time to throw the ball. Yeah. So everything was predictable. Hall had a fucking terrible fumble, rookie running back. Carter dropped a touchdown that would have brought us within a couple of points. Same old mistakes, man. 4 or 5 drop passes. Corey Davis, Ty Conklin, and Carter. So it's I don't know, man. I want to believe in Saleh. I think he's a good coach, but the offense has not made any progression, and we're looking at Joe Flacco. So, okay. And we've had 2 major injuries to our O-line. So it's only 1 game. I'm going to curb my enthusiasm or my anger, but I'm not impressed. And I unfortunately, I don't know if the offensive line doesn't get their shit together on pass blocking, none of this is going to matter because, maybe Zach will be able to run for a few more seconds behind the line because he's a little more mobile. He's a lot more mobile, but he's going to get killed, just like Flacco is going to get killed. We can't be giving up. Flacco had no time. So whether he's old and stiff or whatever, he had no time to deliver the ball. He threw 1 stupid interception. It was bad, but everything else he did with the best he could. He held on to the ball a little bit longer than he should. That offense with that line, the ball's got to be out within 1 second. It's got to be all quick hitter stuff. And they're that's
basically
not really,
basically the Giants in the first half, by the way.
Yeah, and, that's not their offense. Their offense is set up to play action, but there's no chance in hell they can run play action if they can't keep the line upright. So
were you one of those guys calling for Mike White at any point in the game, or who cares?
Who cares? But I do think Mike White may be a better option just because he's a little bit more mobile and he knows the offense and he can get rid of the ball quicker. Not that Flacco doesn't know the offense, but Flacco is a big arm quarterback. He's looking to, carve up the D, but he's got no time. And when, if he doesn't get that ball out within 1 to 2 seconds, he's on his back or he's running and throwing the ball away. So there's so many 3 and outs, and then our fucking punter, Jesus Christ, 6th round pick, Braden Mann, and the kid he might as well be Braden Shank every fucking week. One bad punt. We signed Morstead when Mann got hurt last year. Morstead was more than capable of having that job, and then we cut him for Mann, and now Morstead's, I believe, punting for the Dolphins and doing quite well. Right around league average. Mann's like the bottom 3 in the league. So
I mean, I'll always call it the Meadowlands, but whatever it's called is notorious for being a shitty place to kick, right? But
don't care, man.
The Giants have always figured it out. So
right, it's stupid.
What I was going to say about the Jets overall is like you can like there's excuses again, right? Of course, because the line and Wilson's hurt again, but I don't think those can count at some point. Like,
no, man,
it doesn't matter. Like
I agree with you, and until Wilson gets back, like I'd like to see the team move the ball. I'd like to see us have some semblance of an offense, but our offense, like you said, first thing about the Giants in the first half, our offense looks exactly like it did last year. We added 2 capable tight ends. We didn't use Uzama at all. And I don't know if that was by design or just because there was no time. Conklin had a decent game besides the drop. And I really like Conklin. I think he's going to play the Kittle role. And I think he's going to block in line, and then he's going to, release and catch a lot of type screens and dump offs. And I think he's going to be a high volume guy on the team. But he had a drop, so the drops killed us. But it's just like, what the hell is this offense doing? It's not making any progress. So it's just super frustrating. And Joe Flacco obviously is some stopgap old guy. So I don't know. Right. What's Mike White going to do better? I don't know. Maybe he's going to run around and give us a little bit more hope. But Flacco to me is just, and he's starting again this week. They announced it today. So yay. And Salah's starting to, get into it with the New York media. So
which is as we know, it's just a fight you're never going to win.
Right. So now he's giving them more bulletin board material. So I don't know, man. Right. I don't know. It's just blah.
Are we mad at the OC, or is it, you're just like?
I mean,
too early.
Everything's too early. With the way the line played, it doesn't matter what play you call. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like unless you're calling like slants on every play, right? And then they're just gonna put 10 in the box, right? Yeah. So. I don't know. I don't know what you do differently. I think what I need to see happen is hopefully they juggled hopefully it was because of all the juggling of, Fant left, right, left, Mitchell starting at right, and everyone trying to like get settled because they'd only played together probably 2 practices before the opening day. Yeah. Maybe they'll solidify this week and, just get everyone a little bit more time. But until that happens, it doesn't matter. You could put me back
you got
there.
Next week again?
Playing Cleveland in Cleveland. We got Myles Garrett to deal with, so that'll be fun. And we still got a rookie.
It'd be nice to beat Jacoby Brissett, though. I mean, come on.
I would love to beat Jacoby Brissett. I think our defense looked better, but I don't know, dude. I don't have a lot of high hopes for these 4 games. I thought maybe we could beat Cleveland, maybe we could beat Pittsburgh. I don't think we're beating Cincinnati, but. No. Then Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati, so I don't know if we can beat any
that game. That was another stupid game. Jesus, it was obviously a sloppy week. I mean,
yes, it was.
Cutting down preseason. Not that I like preseason, but cutting down preseason
leads to week one.
This is a glorified preseason game, basically. A week 1 is.
Yep, so. It's been like that for the last couple of years. I totally agree.
And look, Hall wasn't the only rookie to fumble, obviously, right? James Cook did it up in Buffalo, as you mentioned. Your punter probably got the yips. I just blanked on who else, but yeah, man, week 1 is rough, I think, for most teams, and unfortunately,
all fair, but no excuses. No excuses. These are professional football players. Come on, guys. All the drops and fumbles and missed opportunities.
So you're not regretting getting to go to opening day in Jersey?
Me? I didn't go to opening day. No, and I don't regret.
No. Like I just I wasn't paying attention, but was the crowd like already like getting on everybody? At the end?
They booed Flacco by the middle of the third quarter, which wasn't really all his fault. So I don't know who else they booed, but yeah, I mean, come on, this fan base is tortured. It's cursed. This will be our 12th year of not making the playoffs. And I am going to be a betting man. Which is
hard to believe.
I'm going to say we're not going to make the playoffs this year. So
not really out on a limb there.
No, that's. I mean, dude,
Is
I
it
can't.
really 12 years?
Yeah, man.
You didn't sneak in with Fitz?
Nope, we went 10-6 with Fitzpatrick, and I want to say it was 16, and we missed the playoffs.
Oh God, that's
We
right.
missed the playoffs. Yep. We lost to Buffalo on the last game of
And
the
that
season.
was like the high point. Like people were actually excited about that.
Yep, it was awesome. It was great. It was great. McCagnon spent all this money on all these guys, and it was fun because we had a team full of aging veterans, but that were at least competent.
Like Santonio and all that was 12 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was. What was that? That was 2010. That was the last year that we. It was the last year that we were competent, dude. It was the last year we were competent. And yeah, Sanchez was our quarterback. Rex was our and everyone shits on Rex, and he definitely wore out. Someone said this the other day. This take he wore out his welcome, but dude, most
coaches do in New York.
Yeah, but he was such a good coach when he was on, and Schottenheimer as an O coordinator was not great, but it worked.
Oh, yeah, you guys hated him.
Even Seattle hated him. He is so bad. He's so bad.
Well, the NFL is full of fail sons, right? Right, Nathaniel Hackett. Ooh, I chunked that one.
Hey,
we'll cut that out.
This is live, so we're not cutting anything out. But that's okay. We got one listener right now, Gino. Gino, I hope you like
Gino. Thanks for hanging out.
So, man, let's talk about some more slop. Let's talk about some more slop.
I feel like you have a Mets rant in you, so I think I'm just going to let you go.
I mean, I said it, and I am every fan right now.
First place Mets.
First place Mets. But we did not do enough at the trade deadline again. And look at what the return we've gotten. Naquin has been a nice fourth outfielder. We gave up nothing for him, right?
Has he even been? I mean,
he's been fine.
He stopped hitting too.
He's been fine. Vogelback has stopped hitting. He's 5 for his last 42. Going into last night's game,
and he can't run or something. He's hurt, right?
Yeah, he pulled his hamstring. Well, could he run?
He doesn't need to run much,
right? But before he was hurt. Darren Ruff, has he even gotten a hit since we traded for him? I don't think so. He's the best thing he's brought to this team so far is the mop-up duty that he pitched a couple of weeks ago. Michael Givens is pretty much the 12th man in the bullpen. He's buried now. He stinks. And
he's the mop-up guy, basically.
Yeah, and that's what we got at the deadline. And the catchers, okay, fine. McCann's starting to hit a little bit. Nito finally got his first home run of the year last week. Great. But we just lost 2 fucking games to the Chicago Cubs with Chris Bassett and Jacob deGrom on the mound, and we managed to score 2 runs, 1 run in each game against the Chicago fucking Cubs with 2 guys. I don't even know who they are pitching. They're not good. They're not good. No. And so our bats have gone silent. Pete is swinging at everything. He's not taking pitches anymore. The only guy that's hitting anymore is McNeil. Nimmo was kind of turned it on in Miami, but
he's kind of getting on base again.
Yeah, he's kind of getting on base again, but Lindor not doing anything. Canna's doing okay, but we're cold again, dude, and we're winning 2, we're losing 2.
Thank God Atlanta's remembered how to lose some games, but
yes, thank you Seattle and Jesse.
By the way, JD Davis hit a RBI single or something to put the Giants ahead just now.
Awesome.
Maybe
thank you.
Where do these teams get guys like JD Davis?
I don't know, man. It's frustrating to have watched. Yeah. I've literally shut the game off in the 3rd inning. The last two games.
Okay, I got to call you out for that because fuck that. You have to watch Jake games. Although Jake was human last night, which was frustrating to watch.
It's not even the pitching, dude. It's not even the pitching.
No, yeah, I'm not getting on the pitching. No,
it's like, dude, we can't give up. We can't be in a place where we can't give up 2 runs and not have a chance to win. And I think the league has started to catch up to our offensive philosophy, which is just throw strikes, just throw fastballs and let us put it in play. And we're hitting it right into people right now. And we're not able to take pop-ups, not able to take a lot of pitches, not able to work counts like we were. And I think that's a good point. I think that's something that we need to adjust to.
Yeah, because that's something you can take advantage of, obviously. So
right, you got to jump on these first pitch fastballs. If you see, the games I have been watching, it's everyone's just throwing first pitch fastballs. They're not trying to nibble on us anymore. They're just coming at us. And to your point, we're fouling shit off, and we're popping it up, and we're hitting into double plays, and we're swinging at the first pitch.
It becomes a mind game, right?
Right.
The bats did wake up for 2 nights down in Miami. I mean, let's be fair. It's just that the last 2 nights, we're rolling into this podcast recording on Wednesday, 9/14. The last 2 games we watched have been utter garbage. Trash. I'm trying to look for stuff, right? Last night, did you see Pete and Sampson get at it? And then he hit that was a home run. That was a bomb.
It was a bomb, but it was
barely foul. And then he hit another one, in the 9th that didn't mean anything.
Well, he hit a home run in the first, and then he ran all the way around the bases, and then he got walked, and then Sampson wanted to talk shit to him.
I could see why the pitcher was annoyed.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, I think Pete's going through something. So what I'm saying is that maybe that wakes him up. I know I'm grasping at stuff right now, but it's a great point about the bats, and it's like we don't want to get too aggressive, right? We don't want to go total Hojo a couple of years ago where they're swinging at everything, but it's time for Buck to do something, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, first and foremost, I think the team's exhausted. Pete hasn't actually had a day off in weeks.
We talked about that after the Yankees series or something a couple weeks ago.
He still looks exhausted. You can see it on his face when he's hitting. You can see it when he's not, breaking bats over his knee, popping up. He hasn't really been on a home run spree. I know he hit one in a meaningless one last night in like the 7th inning, but he hasn't, the one in the first inning, that's the one. Him and Lindor need a day off. Whether it's good or bad, I wouldn't do it today, but maybe in this Pittsburgh series, give them a day off where they just sit on the bench and get to watch from the bench.
It's great to have Luis back, by the way.
Yes, it was great to get him back last night. But, let these guys get a day of rest. We need to get them fresh. They're tired. Marte couldn't have gone on the DL at an inopportune time.
I didn't want to interrupt you earlier, but they're really missing him.
Absolutely, 100%. But besides the day off and Pete and Lindor looking real tired and missing Marte, I think that on top of everything we just talked about with the way the league has made some adjustments, we need to make some adjustments. But we got to turn it on sooner than later, dude. We are running out of time here, and we're playing low-level teams that, we're letting them jump out in front of us, and we're not hitting with runners in scoring position. That's the other thing that has been killing us lately.
Oh, yeah.
We used to get the big hit at least once a game. If you look at the teams left on base since the middle of August, it's not good.
So many ducks left on the pond. So many ducks.
So you can only do that so many times before the losses start catching up.
Right. And it's baseball. These slumps are going to happen, man. I think there's a way to look at all this optimistically as long as they turn it around this weekend. Because Jesus Christ, we were popping this champagne after the Dodgers series, looking at the upcoming schedule, like, oh my God, Florida, Washington, Pittsburgh, Chicago. How's that going? We're like a 500 team at best
against a sub. We need to win today. We got to get out of this Chicago series with a victory. We need to take 3 or 4 from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And we'll take it from there. But that's got to be the plan going into the weekend, right? And Pete and Frankie need a day off. And the pitching's been good. And we're going up against another lefty tonight, lefties have just owned us because Darren Ruff can't fucking hit the broadside of a barn.
Fire him into the sun.
Fireman in the sun. Let's get Vientos.
Vientos should be starting tonight. If he's not, what's the point?
Right, exactly. So I don't know, man. I don't know how you feel otherwise. I know we're going to make the playoffs. This is all first world problems. We need to turn it around soon.
Oh, obviously do. And Max has rehab start tonight. I forget if you mentioned that or not. Up in Syracuse, so we'll keep an eye on that. You're right. We're in the damn playoffs, but let's win the damn division. It's still right there. Right?
Yep.
As of the second, up by half a game. I don't have the score in front of me, but I know Atlanta's playing right now in San Francisco. Not an easy place to play, obviously. So, yeah, man. I'm trying to think if I have anything else on the Mets. Yeah, everybody's blaming Timmy Trumpet. Do you care?
No, I mean that was Seinfeld started that stupid shit. Like that was, from an entertainment standpoint, the Mets have done everything right this year. Old Timers Day, retiring numbers, Timmy Trumpet. Come on, man, that has nothing to do with anything. Like
it doesn't. Although that reminds me, our social media team posted something today. It was like this for me, and I said something like, "This is a great Mets season," and then I don't care, and I loved it. I thank you guys. That it I don't even know what context that was in, but it was an incredible quote. So this has been a hell of a year. This is our year. I don't know, right? But it has been a hell of a year. Let's not lose sight of that. We're still having a lot of fun in Metsville, I think, despite Mike's rants.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much I'm going to tune in tonight. David Peterson versus Drew Smiley.
I know.
Gross.
Fucking Smiley. Let's go. Come on, guys.
Didn't he already beat us once this year?
Probably.
So I'm gonna probably let my anxiety, release. And sometimes I do better when I don't watch. I feel like I might be the jinx.
Do yourself a favor. Go on Wiki and start with like supermassive black holes or like galaxies, and just like start simple and then just start clicking around. It's gonna blow your mind.
I actually just meditate. That's been my new thing. I've been meditating. Today
That's not new for you. I saw you meditate like 5 years ago in Nashville, and you kind of like blew my mind with it. So
yeah, man, 6. But I will say this year has been I've been off my regular meditation, yoga, all that stuff, and I have been getting angrier and angrier this year. Not just
the old Mike is back.
The old Mike is back. So
I like it.
No,
it's good for the show.
It's good for the show.
Yeah.
And then this is
if
where
you
I'll
can
get
compartmentalize for
for
an hour each week.
That's the problem. I haven't been compartmentalizing at all. I've just been angry. So yeah, I'm working on getting that anger back in check because we got ourselves a nice baby on the way, and I don't need to be angry Mike around that child. So
yeah, and by the way, I hope Alex is doing great, and yeah, just watch out for those remotes, Harvey, when the Jets are on.
Well, the good news is the Jets are never on here in the house, so I gotta go to
Wild Wings at 10 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the beauty. Hey, man, I will say this though. Going back to the Jets, I went and watched the 10 a.m. game out here with my mom was in town and her boyfriend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it was great. And I realized like that's my favorite thing to do in California. Yes. Sunday football, 10 a.m. brunch.
Can't beat it.
Games on everywhere. I was actually in a zen place because I knew the Jets probably weren't going to beat Baltimore regardless.
Yeah.
So
house money.
House money, exactly. But it looks like you just said that JD hit a home run. Giants are up 4-1 on the Braves in the 6th. That's kind of awesome.
Beautiful.
Love seeing that.
Great trade, Billy.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because we don't want to
rob like 4 guys
for a guy that has been awful. But that's revisionist history. He's an
ex-Philly plant.
Yep. Let's talk about these New York Islanders.
Oh, why?
Training camp is right around the corner. Doug. How are you feeling?
Fuck. It'll be cool if we heard anything from them. Yeah, you know what's weird? They're not signing like anyone else for even a tryout.
Yeah, Lampert just came out and said no PTO.
We like Hutton and Sebastian Aho that much on the back end, and obviously Robin Salo. Okay, fine. You know what? I shouldn't say anything because this is how you get Andy Green, and no disrespect to Andy, and Chara, but yeah, I mean those guys obviously aren't the answer. Mike, I don't know, man. I'll feel good about the Isles if I look at it a certain way, and closer we get to hockey season, like the more fired up I'll get, for sure. And I don't know what to say about them right now, though. Like, I think the rest is going to help them a lot. The lack of a run this year, plus everything that happened last year. So who knows? But who knows about Lambert, man? How are you feeling about him?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just described it perfectly. It depends on how you want to look at it, right?
Right.
So we didn't play a deep run in the playoffs. We got a whole off season. We're bringing back the exact same fucking team, aside from
Yeah.
upgrading Chara and Green with Romanoff and Salo, right?
Right.
So that's some youth that we've injected to the D, which I wish we just kept.
I can't get on him for that. I mean,
I just wish we kept Taze and traded, whatever the shithead that we gave to Arizona's name was a year earlier, Lad. Yeah. So
even Letty. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, anyway. and any of that. So, but again, revisionist history. I think we've got a nice core on D. The oldest guy is Mayfield, and he's going to turn 20 or 30 this year. So
yeah, and I could see them bringing him back unless he wants out, unless he wants to go back to the Midwest. I know he's from St. Louis, but he's a gamer, and him and Pellick, I don't want to go too far back, but they made me eat a lot of words, both those guys, and obviously that was during the Doug Waite regime. So I wanted them to trade Mayfield last year because I thought they could have gotten a really nice pick at the deadline, especially with the year of control. Of course, Lou didn't do that. So now, I don't know about you, but now I'm fine if they extend him. What do you think?
It just depends on what it costs. I mean, we've had him. The problem I foresee with Mayfield is we've had him on such a discount for the last 4 years, and he probably out-earned his contract.
Get more money elsewhere.
Yeah, he definitely out-earned his contract 3 of those 4 years. So is he going to want to get paid to make up for those years, or is he willing to give us a hometown discount? If he's willing to give the hometown discount and we can get him on a 4-year 4x4 or 4x3, something like that, I don't know if he'll take that. I don't know what he's going to get on the open market, but I will say I do like how the defense lines up as currently constituted with the Pulak, Pellick on your top, Dobson and Romanoff as your middle, and Mayfield now being a third pair with Salo or Aho.
We hope Salo. We hope.
I hope Salo, right? Yeah. And I think
both of us agree.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Salo. I don't see how it's not. I think that's part of why Barry may have gotten the boot, is that maybe he wasn't, giving some of these younger guys.
Anyone, yeah,
exactly. And so maybe Lane's going to trust Wallstrom a little bit more. Maybe
Bellows even too. I think they're believers.
Yeah, I think so too.
2 years, right?
Bellows got 2 years. Yeah. I don't know if he did. Maybe, but
I thought he might have. I remember being surprised. Anyway, I've not been looking at them, obviously, because of football and baseball. But
totally. But
I think you have a good point.
I like how that lines up, and we're young again on the back. We are pretty young. I mean, if you get Bellows and you put in your mindset that Bellows and Parise are one player, and Johnston and Martin are one player, and those are your 2 bench guys, right? So those are guys who will probably. I don't foresee Parise playing 82 games, right? I think it's going to be like
last year.
He had to last year, but that's also a Trotz thing, right? Yep. And I think it'll be probably more like I think the fourth line will interchange, Ross, the boss, between Cal and Matt, and they'll probably all play about 50 games each, right? Between him bopping back and forth between left and right wing.
I don't think Matt's going to be a regular. I think it's about time for him, but I've said that before. And, Cal's coming back from an injury. We'll see how he looks. JG, was coming back from an injury last year. I think he looks a lot better this year. Yeah, that's my prediction. I think if Lane can figure out a third line that is a threat, then this team is looking good.
Well, I think it's gonna be
Parise division though.
Yeah, it's gonna be Parise and Pajot and whoever the other guy is, whether it's Bailey or whether it's Palmieri or Wallstrom, right? And those are kind of the interchangeable guys that we got to figure out. Right. We're playing in a beastly division, and we got some youth, and hopefully some of these guys take a step forward, but we shall see.
Our Russian goalies are going to keep us in every game, I think.
Definitely.
So, God, if we can figure out some scoring, I mean, they got something. They're going to go back to the, maybe the semis. Hey, Matt.
Do we think Lane's coaching style will be the same as Barry's or totally different? I think it's going to be mostly the same. I think we'll have a little bit more freedom on O, right? Because they're going to try and unlock Barzal. That's my guess.
Yep.
Get Wallstrom a little bit more involved and be a little bit more creative than what they were doing in the past.
Yeah, I think it's more of a personnel thing here with Lou than a structure thing. I think Lou does believe in Trotz's philosophy and coaching, and I think that's why Lane is here. And I also think Barry was like, we have a good thing here. I just need to get away. And I think, I don't know. I think in a perfect world, Barry would still be here, but I think there are factors why he's not. And I think Lou wants to trust the kids more, and I think that's evidenced by the fact they haven't signed any PTOs at all. So, good question though. Like who knows? The Islanders are always a black box, especially during the offseason. It's really, really tough to talk about this team, when they're not playing games, and that's how Lou rolls.
Well, they'll be coming up on the exhibition schedule starting soon, right?
Yeah,
so, 2 weeks.
Camp is camp open?
I think it's starting soon. It's starting soon.
Town, right?
Yep. So
I don't know, man, but it's I say this a lot, but it's a great time of year.
It is a great time of year.
Do you want to do a before Via, because I'm not really prepared for that, although I do have someone because I just hate the Cowboys, but any fantasy guy you want to either call out or praise since we're doing this?
I want to call out myself for thinking that Mike Davis was a must start week 1. I started Mike Davis. I have 5 fantasy leagues. I went a little overboard this year. I won 3 leagues last year, and I was like, I'll hedge my bets. I'm probably not going to win these 3 leagues again. So got to get myself involved in as many as I can. So it'll be interesting because I'm sure I'll suck in some, right? But the Mike Davis must start week 1 was a complete bust. He got 1 point. 1 point, I think he got about 10 yards rushing. I also believe he fumbled the ball and never got back in the game after it was recovered by at least the Ravens recovered it. But
thank you, Mike Davis.
Yeah. He was definitely not a must start. And
only you had fumbled one more time.
Well, it wasn't recovered by the Jets.
Oh,
but
right.
But yeah, I think I was taking a look at some waiver wire stuff, and the guy that I picked up this week was Zay Jones. He had 9 targets. He's playing that that 1 or 2 receiver. Kirk's the slot guy down there in Jacksonville, and Zay Jones had 6 catches for, I want to say, like 60 or 70 yards, and it's a very modest amount, but waiver wire week 1. It's nothing crazy.
He was on my radar going into week 1.
And the other guy, I do want to sing the praises, and I do think this guy, if you're looking for some tight end help in fantasy, I think I talked about him 2 weeks ago, is Ty Conklin. I think this guy is going to play the Kittle role.
Sticking with it. Okay.
If the Jets can, he caught a touchdown. He had 6 targets or 7 targets in week 1 on I don't know if he led the team in targets, but he definitely played almost every snap. And I think if he didn't lead the team in targets, he was 2nd or 3rd in targets on the team. So he's getting some target share, and he caught a touchdown. It was garbage time, but if they can find a way to, give Joe some time to throw the ball, I think Ty Conklin is going to play that George Kittle role. I'm not saying he's George Kittle, but if you think about the target share that George Kittle had in his heyday in San Francisco when LaFleur was there, he was, top tight end in the league every year. So it's an upside swing, and if you don't have one of the top 3 tight ends,
the position's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
So why not? I love it. I'll pat myself on the back a little bit for having Jeff Wilson, Tyler Boyd, and Josh Palmer on my bench already. I didn't have to go the waiver wire.
Right.
What up? But yeah, it's fantasy's back. We're getting angry every Sunday. I love it.
Yeah. So it's been a great show, Dougie.
You ready for your show, man?
Ready for your Via? It's good to be back. I'm happy to see you. We're gonna try and do this every week again.
Yeah,
Summer was a little hectic for everybody, but now school's back in session. Kids are back in school. Not that we have any. So
not yet.
Not yet. But I still got 5 years before that kid's going to school. So
and you're already counting down.
Exactly. So what you got to say? Who we saying?
Let's give a shout out to Jarrett and the boys. This isn't a permit Via, obviously, but it's fun when the Cowboys season gets BF'd in week 1, which it did. Via con Dios, Dak Prescott, at least for the next 4 weeks. You guys suck again.
I will. Again. I don't usually jump on the back of your Via con Dios, but I'm going to today, and I'll one up you. and say, via con Dios, Dallas Cowboys playoff chances 2022, 2023.
That's what I was leading to, but thank you for I set you up, you knocked it in.
Thank you. That's what I do.
Yep.
All right, audience, it's been a great show. We will see you next week.